Okay, on to question 2, and this is a question on C programming and understanding C programs. So the first part is how many bytes of memory are allocated for the variable umpire in this program? So we're going to look up and find umpire here, and it's a char umpire bracket 8. So in this case, we're really just looking at char is 1 byte per char, and we have bracket 8 means 8 of that thing. And it really doesn't matter here. I know we have a string initializing it, but when we give this 8 here, that means that we are absolutely giving 8 bytes of space, no matter what we see in this string over here. So the initializer doesn't actually matter for the size here. So this is just 8 bytes, since it's 8 times 1 byte each. If we were looking at announcer, we would actually have to count up all of these characters here, since we're not given a size in that variable. And then we'd add the number of characters plus the null that we need to have to initialize that string. So on to part B. If the string umpire is declared size 8 and initialized with the string, later in the program on line 14, printf will print the string to the screen, explain how the program knows to stop printing at the end of the string, vice printing 8 elements of the array. So the trick here is that C doesn't actually remember that this was a size 8 string whenever it executes the program. The way it knows that this is 8 characters, or that it has this number of characters, is that null that we previously mentioned. So printf prints a string until it finds a null. So if it doesn't find a null, it's going to keep going forever. It's going to keep printing whatever it finds in memory. So it goes until it finds that null, which is 0, 0 in bytes. Okay. Last question here. What is printed to the screen after the program has completed? So for this type of question, I usually recommend, we're going to go back to the code here. And I recommend just kind of looking at the loop to see what's going on in that piece of code. Because this is probably going to be relevant to what happens, right? We declare some variables, and then we go into this iterative process of updating P and then doing something based on P. And I recommend then basically figuring out what are all the variables there and starting from the initializer. So we have P is the variable that gets used, and it's P equals 1 to start. So what happens when P equals 1? Well, we check, is it less than 4? Right, P is less than 4. This is true. So we're going to go into the loop. We're going to check, is P less than 3? And it is. So we're going to print out in the first round. So this is going to be output here. What do we output to the screen? We're going to print ball %d/n, and then we're going to substitute P. So we're going to print ball, and P is 1. So we're going to print ball 1. We're going to update P because of the loop update that happens after we're done with the loop, right? So we did this if statement, we did the printf, now we loop back up and we do the updates. We update P to 2. We check, is 2 less than 4? That's still true. So we're going to check the if statement again and say if P is less than 3, 2 is less than 3. So we're going to say ball, and we're substituting %d with P, so ball 2. We're going to update P again, now that we're at the end of the loop. That becomes 3. 3 is still less than 4, so this is still true. We're going to still execute our loop body. If P is less than 3, well, 3 is not less than 3, it's equal. So we go to the else this time, and we're going to say %s, %d, exclamation point. So umpire is going to substitute with strike, because that's what's in that string at the moment. And then %d is going to substitute with the current value of P, which is strike 3. We're going to update P again. That becomes 4. P is not less than 4 now, so we are false, so exit the loop. Exit the loop there, right? And so then we go to the end, and now we're going to print your out. I forgot, strike 3 should have had an exclamation point on it there. And then that's a new line. We see that we have a new line each time, so we do have to be careful of that. Sometimes we'll have like a tab or something, and you should represent that in your output. So now that we have that, we just copy that down to here. So ball 1, ball 2, strike 3, exclamation point, and then you're out, exclamation point. And that's it. So really just looking through the loop, understanding the updates that are happening each time around, and keeping track of what all those variables are.